The First World War became one of the most brutal conflicts in human history. Over 4 years, it claimed around 18 million lives and forever changed the understanding of warfare. Artillery, aviation, and chemical weapons were only part of the horrors soldiers faced on the front lines. But our story will be told through the eyes of one man, David Baker. Choosing the protagonist was not easy, but we start with a soldier of the British Empire, and soon you'll understand why. The topic of World War I is vast and deserves to be viewed from different perspectives, so let us know if you'd like to see a future video from the viewpoint of a Russian or German soldier. For now, we move to September 15, 1916, the day that split David's life into before and after. Not the day the war ended, but the Battle of the Somme, which changed his fate forever. On July 1st, on the banks of the Somme River in France, unfolded one of the grandest battles not only of World War I but of military history as a whole. About 100 French and British divisions went up against 50 German ones. Over 1 million casualties in nearly 4 months of continuous fighting, that's how historians describe it. Yet at that time David was sitting in the trenches in surprisingly high spirits, a state hard to reconcile with the image of war we know from textbooks. This is one of the reasons we chose a Briton for the first story. Despite all the horrors, British morale often remained high. One reason was powerful patriotism. British propaganda worked actively. Germany had violated agreements and threatened colonies, which was perceived as an insult. While Russia and France had war declared upon them by Germany, Britain declared war herself, and soldiers, fueled by newspapers and speeches, saw themselves as protectors of Europe. But the main factor that helped David stay confident amid the chaos was the structure of the British Army. At home he was a simple factory worker, barely making ends meet in a cramped London room. In the army, by royal decree, each soldier had to receive about 4,000 calories a day. Meat, a luxury for many workers, became part of the daily ration, along with tea, rum, and even cigarettes. According to BBC records, the number of medical leaves in 1916 was almost the same as in peacetime. Very few pretended to be ill to escape the front. This suggests that conditions seemed acceptable to many. Another strong motivator was salary. Before the war, David earned 29 pence a day, barely enough to live on. In the army, as a sapper with the rank of second lieutenant, he received more than 100 pence, while even the minimum pay for a private was 42. Each year of service added another 12 pence. Soldiers earned 2 to 3 times more than at home, received clothing and food, all at the expense of the state. In the film 1917, British soldiers are shown well-fed and well-equipped, and that depiction is quite accurate. There is a myth that soldiers rotted in trenches for months, but this is not true. Keeping troops in damp, dirty conditions too long made them sick and lowered morale. On the Somme, rotation was constant. On average, a soldier spent around 10 days per month on the front line, and the rest in the rear. Usually, rotation occurred every 2 weeks. Another myth concerns incompetent command, but generals and officers were often seen right at the front. Officer losses in Britain were higher than among privates, 17% versus 11%, showing how personally involved they were. David served as a sapper, though the role of sappers changed significantly during World War I. At the Somme, underground mining operations were used extensively. To understand David's work, imagine the warfare tactics of that era. The Allies planned offensives and wanted to avoid pointless attacks on fortified positions. Artillery helped, but soldiers could hide from shells, not from an explosion beneath their feet. Sappers like David dug tunnels under German positions daily. Some shafts reached up to 300 meters in length. Unlike civilian mines, ventilation pipes could not be installed, they would have revealed the operation. The work was done in choking darkness, with little food and water. The proximity of the river often caused flooding, killing underground teams. David was lucky, his group successfully placed about 40 kilograms of explosives under German positions. The crater created by the blast still exists today near La Boisselle in France, known as the Lochnagar crater. It is 21 meters deep and more than 80 meters across. An entire company could disappear inside such a hole. This is why sappers were admired. Many dreamed not just of fighting, but of destroying the enemy from below. This image survived in culture. In the series Peaky Blinders, Thomas Shelby and his brothers often recall digging tunnels. They too were sappers, just like David Baker. On September 15, 1916, David witnessed another revolution, the first mass use of tanks. Many believe World War I was only trench slaughter, but it was also the pinnacle of technical experimentation. Tanks didn't exist in metal in 1914, 2 years later they were already rolling into battle. Airplanes evolved from toys into reconnaissance and combat machines. Out of 50 tanks deployed that day, only 18 made it to the attack, others stalled or broke down. Commanders didn't yet know how to use them properly, so the vehicles were spread out, reducing their impact. But even the sight of them shocked the Germans and boosted British morale. We must also remember the role of the Russian army. The Brusilov offensive forced Germany to divert troops east, making the Allied advance on the Somme easier. War offered little joy, and it would be naive to claim that David was happy. But imagining every soldier as broken and miserable is also wrong. Armies were full of thrill-seekers, patriots, and men who believed they were doing the right thing. David felt he was defending Europe and was well paid for it. Another misconception is that half of all soldiers died. This is untrue. Among British forces, about 11.5% never returned home, roughly 700,000 men, about 2% of the country's population. In the English Civil War, casualties were even higher. During the Crimean War, British losses exceeded 20%. Considering patriotism, officer involvement in combat, good rations, and pay, it becomes clear why many soldiers did not see army life as the worst fate. In peaceful Britain, disease such as smallpox and the Spanish flu claimed lives just as easily. Thus ends the story of David Baker. If you'd like similar videos from the perspective of a German or Russian soldier, leave a comment and give a like. See you soon!